Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another gripping episode of Vet Talks. On this segment, we have today Cougar Zank, who is with us.
Hello, and again on Vet Talks today, I'm so pleased to present that we have Joseph Molina from the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and this is a very, very informative, special show we're presenting. So go ahead, Joseph. What do you got for us?
Well, again, my name is Joe Molina. I'm with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We are a national organization, 501c3, and our purpose and our objective is to support veterans in all different areas. We welcome families. We honor and respect and provide free membership to the veterans, of course, their spouses, moms and dads, and their kids. So for us, being a veteran is a family affair.
That's good. Wow, really nice.
Okay, so wait, the Veterans Chamber of Commerce is free, which is usually there's a cost for any, as me and Paul learned, any Chamber of Commerce that invited us in, they wanted us to pay. The Veterans Chamber of Commerce is nationwide for everybody?
Yes, it's nationwide, and we do not charge veterans or organizations that serve veterans.
Wow. Okay. And so, where is it located? Online? Where can they find the Veterans Chamber of Commerce? Where could somebody go to find you?
The way we want to set it up was through community chapters. So we have chapters in San Diego, chapters in Riverside County, chapters in Northern California, Arizona, North Carolina, Indiana. So we're setting up chapters across the nation. But the most important part is that we also take advantage of our community of chambers. So we partner with non-veteran chambers of commerce to continue the service. And we do what is called a dual membership. So the chambers of commerce belong to our chamber, and then we belong to their chamber to provide the service to our veterans. It's an awesome, awesome process.
There we go. So by setting up with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, no matter what state a person is in, they will automatically be set up with their local Chamber of Commerce.
That's correct.
Okay, so Joseph, what I would like to do then, at this point, I want to play the new veteran and how the Chamber of Commerce best is effectively works with a veteran. Because I was a veteran running a business when I called my Marine friend, Paul, and he's like, oh yeah, I just got out of a Chamber of Commerce promotional weekend where they're doing an outreach. Okay, and I was like, oh, well, why are you wasting your time there? And he goes, well, you know what you need? You need your business license, your tax ID, your EIN, your da-da-da, and then you can do like, oh, whoa. Give me that list one more time. So let's, for all the veterans out there who are considering being an entrepreneur or going into business, what is it that a veteran business needs to be set up with the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you that your question is a question in people's mind 99% of the time. And I can tell you that when I conduct the sessions, I tell our veterans and the community that I can help them set up their business in one morning. All the steps that you guys mentioned right now, I'll set them up with them in one morning. It doesn't take more than that.
One morning to be set up. Okay, and what are those steps? Let's cover the steps for me. DBA, filing. Go ahead. Cover them.
All right. So first things first is the selection of the business name. But I gotta know what your business name is gonna look like, is what it sound like, and what other people are going to identify your business. Once you come up with that, then yes, the DBA is the first step, which is doing business as. As a sole proprietor, you just basically set up your entity within the county that you live in, and then that gets you started. Second step is registering with the newspaper, and then register for 4 weeks, and then promote that. Again, this varies state to state, but let's use California as an example, just to keep it steady. So they do the DBA registration. Second step is the promotional in the newspaper. Third step is the Federal Employer ID number, which is the SS4, done online. It takes 10 minutes. 4 is the Employer ID number, or resale number, as they call it, if you are selling product. If you're not selling product, you're good to go. You can skip that step. Then the next step is the bank account. And we suggest that you have two bank accounts, one for your business and one for the other one that I want people to guess, but it's basically taxes. Taxes are very critical in business because if we don't pay the taxes, we get in trouble. So I advise to have two separate accounts.
I love that account that they put just the taxes that they owe the state or the IRS in, right? Quarterly.
Exactly right. Exactly right. After each sale, set up aside 20% or 25% or whatever your bracket is, set it aside on that bank account. And at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter, boom, you got your money to pay.
And for those of us that are in California, that is a CFTCS. That is your where you report your quarterly taxes. Okay, that if you, those of us, like you said, that have goods need a reseller's permit. Those of you with services do not need a reseller's permit. When you need a reseller's permit, you need to charge sales tax. It can be anywhere from 7.5% to 9.5% statewide. Don't forget to charge your sales tax. Now, what I love, Joe, is what did all of that you just mentioned, those 5 steps, sometimes 4, cost in total a small business startup?
It's pennies. It costs basically maybe between 30 to 40 bucks to set up the DBA. And then the last step is the business license. So once you get your bank account, you want to get a business license from the city that you're going to be located. And that business license varies from about 30 bucks to 50 bucks. And that's paid to the city where you're going to be.
Mine was 146. Thank you to the city of Riverside. But yes, I know what you're saying.
Whoa. That they probably give you a lot of stuff for that money.
They do, and we're counseling and consulting services, so we are the highest end of a business license. Because we're doing goods and services. But for most small companies and small businesses, you're right. If they only went with their field or market like electrical or plumbing specifically, then the business license is very small. And as people know, just so we know, there's no taxes due if you don't have any sales. So you can stop worrying about people coming to you to collect taxes when you don't even have any revenue yet. You first need revenue. And all of that would take one day.
One day. You start in the morning, and by lunch, you are done.
And you are done, and you are set up. So, Joe, what we have is a program where we, for free, try to teach people those 5 steps. So I'll
be happy to walk them through the process step by step.
Walk them through the process. Now, after they have their business set up, if they are a veteran, or they're in the state of California, there are 2 more things that we like to highlight with you here on the line, which is, what is the difference, Joe, between a DVBE, a Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise certified through Department of General Services in the state of California, and an SDVOSB or VOSB, a veteran-owned or service-disabled veteran-owned small business in the federal system? Can you help our audience with why those are 2 completely different systems?
Well, as a service-disabled veteran-owned business, it kind of marks the direction that you want to go. Whether you want to do business with the federal government or the VA, or you want to stay and work with the state entities only. So as a service disabled, the certifications that you apply for, if those certifications meet the criteria that you are going for, then that's where you determine what that is. And and I'll tell you this, my best resource for that is the PTACs, the Center for Opportunity Center, or Contract for Opportunity Centers. Because when you're trying to decide whether you're going to go to service disabled or whether you want to incorporate or set up a limited liability company, those things are basically designed and decided at the moment that you start creating your certification. Because if your goal, at the end of the track is to do business with the VA, then definitely you want to stay away from an LLC and do corporation. Or if you're going to do business with local school districts, then you want to go for veteran-owned business versus service-disabled veteran-owned business. If you're going to go for corporations like AT&T, all those private corporations, they value veteran-owned businesses in a different way that they will value a different criteria. So it is what I would like to stay away from is trying to pre-decide what certification we should go for, unless I know my market that I want to go and apply and submit proposals for.
That is a great point, Joseph. For example, in California, we are the 5th largest GDP in the world. If you get certified in the state of California, you have enough business to last you. You don't even have time to focus on the federal system. If you're in the federal system, which is where we were in the federal system, when I met the California Chamber of Commerce, and they said to me, hey, why aren't you in our state system? And me and Paul were standing there, and I go, because you guys don't pay your bills. It was a joke I made to the DGS. I didn't know it was the head of Department of General Services that I was saying that to. She goes, we pay our bills. Come on now. Besides, we got 8 to 10 billion to spend. 8 to 10 billion to spend. I'm like,
well, here, and that's a great point, because as a Veterans Chamber of Commerce, my goal, and this is very important to me, it is very difficult, as you know, to land a contract, because as a new business trying to go for a contract,
gruelingly difficult. Yes, go on.
Right. So what I would like to do, and this is something that I am as a chamber working on, is to bring forward contractors, like the actual individuals who can provide the entry-level contracts to the new veterans who are starting a business. It doesn't do any good for someone to go and apply for a $100 million contract when we cannot provide the service for that for that level. So we want to start in the local, regional, state, then federal levels. That way, there is a perfect match between the veteran and the capacity of that veteran and the contract. So we start with small veteran-owned companies who are like the plumbers, the construction, not the ones that build the freeway, but the ones to draw the lines on the freeway. Not the ones that build the bridges, but the ones that put the rails on the bridges. So start on the step-by-step process. And that is something that it is critical for the veterans to want to go in and complete a contract and be able to, the size of the contract, it doesn't matter, whether it's be $1,000 or $5,000 or $5 million, whatever. What matters is learning the process, accomplishing the process, because as a business owner, you know that it is an adrenaline rush when we accomplish a sale, when we sign a contract. That's the behavior I'm working to help veterans become familiar with. Not the going after the contract. That becomes a different adrenaline. Is the adrenaline of signing the contract. That is what I want us.
Getting that actual sale. Now, you brought up an acronym. I want to highlight it for a second. It's called PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. Chad Bomer is my local PTAC guy, and we adamantly support PTAC. You cannot function without PTAC. PTAC sat down and broke down markets for me. Joseph brought up markets. In the federal market, you can market to certain buyers. In the state, you can market to other buyers. Neither of those two markets are commercial. So there's a third market, which is commercial. A third market. Yeah. Right. So all those listening who want to get in, who would like to participate, take a chance to go to your Chamber of Commerce, reach out to Joseph Molina at the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. You covered something else, Joe, I want to go over.
Sure.
Once you're certified and you're set up, and you first log into that FBO.gov system, right? And you're seeing the spending of awards going out, all right? It is the most unbelievable thing. You're watching waves of money getting spent within 4 or 5 months, and it's going right past you. You're like, there it goes, another one went.
And it becomes like when you're trying to grab a flood of, let's say, oranges are going on a river, and you're trying to capture them all, and you feel like they're getting away from you.
I feel like I'm trying to capture them with my hands, and Paul's holding my legs, and I'm throwing them back to him. He's like, I can't catch them. I'm holding your legs. What do you want from me?
Exactly.
We need
a bigger net.
Yeah, it's huge. So the best advice that you're giving, which is important, is don't get lost in the ocean when your local city, actually in our state, your local county,
absolutely,
is very supportive of veteran small businesses, and you could effectively get a sale within 6 months in the local county, where you could spend 2 years in the federal system watching ships go by.
Oh my God, yes, yes. And then keep in mind that the layers keep even unfolded even more. So you have the federal government, the state government, then you have the city government, and then you have the county, the city government. Then you also have public entities like the school districts, community colleges, universities. They all have contracts and they're all committed to supporting veterans. The key part is, again, as like you said, you have to identify your target market. So you got to identify that very, very narrow. It's like asking a plumber to put your roof. It won't work because the plumber is the plumber. So if you're a plumber, then focus on the areas that are within your control. This is the scope of control. It has to be 100%. What is that you control 100%, and that identifies your niche market. Now, the other part is, we talk about the public entities, the government entities. There is another side of the coin, which is the private entities, the private sector. And the private sector has higher commitment in a sense of contracts. So companies like the AT&Ts of the world, the Cox Cables of the world, they have also commitments that they are putting forward to work with veterans, service disabled veterans, minorities, whatever.
There were workshops when we went. There were workshops. There was, a lot of resources. There was, and that's what you could take initiative and really, you don't need a lawyer. You don't need weeks or months. You could really, like you said, do this in half a day, and it's empowering. Like I told Doton that about you got to certify the certification to certify to get there. To certify that,
Yeah. Well, here's the beauty of it. Because of a great relationship with our great friends that we have, like the PPACs, most of them are members of the chamber, and also the diversity councils, but some of them are also members of the chamber. We set up one-on-one sessions with these entities to meet with the veterans.
Yeah, the tricks of the trade. Yeah.
To learn, how to develop the relationships, because you have to have knowledge, no doubt, but knowledge only gets you to so far. You need the action, and you need those numbers. Like you mentioned earlier, it takes 100 applications to get 1 or 2. It's a numbers game. You gotta go. For it. You gotta do the walk.
Shots on goal. Shots on goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shots on goal.
Now, here's another thing that we also help with, and this is something that we're really proud of. We have now a platform that basically creates a marketplace for each veteran to upload all the documents that they need to provide to an entity and put them in one place. It's
Smart.
like, and then when you have a contractor buyer, then basically they can access those documents in one click with just one.
So you're cutting down. Let me clarify this. This is great, Joe. So what you're doing is you're cutting down what I like to call the donut, where I have to turn in Form 55 and 50, Se.1Ep.14, Se.1Ep.15, and all those DFARs that every single time say, no, I do not do business with Iran. Yes, I am a U.S. company. Yes, I am a disabled veteran company. All those forms, right? Those standard forms.
Absolutely.
Right? Because the only thing that changes for all the businesses listening to me right now, the only thing that changes in a quote is the price for the service being offered, or the quote for the price for the goods being offered. The rest of the contracts are typically standard, and they only go down by the person who, the buyer, right? That's the only thing that's different in it, is who the buyer is, right? Okay.
No,
so once they have that profile with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, what do they do?
Yeah. And so once they have the profile, then whenever they have a potential bid, basically either the contractor can actually access the documents themselves directly. Basically, they just download them, and they can see all the checklists that they are requesting. Most of the things that we is like just like you said. There's really no changes unless there is a question or they have an edit. But that is with the platform, it simplifies the process. And I love that, you know. The other part is, but we are also in one side, on one end of the spectrum, we're helping the veterans simplify the process, understand what they need to provide, understand their market, focus on the particular need. On the other side, we're working with buyers, with contractors who want to basically meet our contract ready veterans. So contractors, it's a nightmare for a buyer, as you know, because they had to interview hundreds of people to select one. And most of the time, the people are not ready. So this way, they'll be able to select individuals who are contract ready based on the amount or range of the contract.
That's beautiful. Joe, what we're going to do is I want to have you back on again. Okay, I want the audience to get to have a chance to check out the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We're going to have the audience come back on. We've got lots of questions coming in, okay? But we want people to get a chance to check out the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Joseph Molina, where can they find you, Joe, on the internet? Where can they find you?
www.vccsd.org.
Say that again. Say it again. www.vccsc.org.
sd.org.
www.vccsd.org. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor having Joseph Molina from the Veterans Chamber of Commerce on our show again here on Vet Talks. If you want to learn how to get your business set up, it will take him literally one day to walk you through it for free. There are no more excuses, no excuses left. You're sitting there wondering how to do it, how to get in the game. Joseph Molina from the Veterans Chamber of Commerce is standing by waiting for you. vccsd.org. Check it out. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.